Welcome to Deep Luxury, the show where we take a deep dive in all things considered luxury. Today, we'll be revealing the life of the Saudi Arabian king, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and the crazy ways he likes to show off his wealth. King Salman came into power at the age of 79 in 2015, after his older brother, Abdullah, who was the king during that time, passed away. He was born an Arab prince, and today he's the king of one of the world's wealthiest countries, and the leader of the world's richest monarchy. But wait, hold on to your seats, because the way this guy flaunts his wealth may put Floyd Mayweather to shame. You'll see just how extremely lavish his lifestyle is. But where exactly does all of this wealth come from, you might be asking? Well, the majority of King Salman's family wealth comes from the state-owned oil company, Aramco, which he fully took control of the House of Saud and the throne of Saudi Arabia. Aramco is the second largest reserve of crude oil in the world, which is saying something. This has made the House of Saud extremely rich, with a net worth of $1.5 trillion at the time of this video. Although 2,000 members of the royal family share this seemingly unending wealth, King Salman controls all of it. With this enormous fortune, the House of Saud has constructed 12 majestic palaces for whomever rightly sits on the throne. 3 of the 12 palaces are the most extravagant: the Al Yamaha Palace in Riyadh, the Al Awajah Palace in Adria, and the ever-so-grand Urga Palace. First, the Al Yamaha Palace. King Salman's official residence is the incredibly luxurious Al Yamaha Palace, which is located in the center of Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia. The facade of the palace is effortlessly stylish and splendid, with the classic Arabic design that perfectly incorporates geometric elements and pointed arch windows. It serves the monarch as both a royal court and a functioning palace. However, it's the interiors that truly showcase the king's exquisite taste. There are a number of impressive chandeliers that could easily stand alone as fine works of art, gorgeous carpets, ornate antiques, and gold. Lots and lots of gold. It's nearly impossible to give an estimate of the cost of this palace. But if we had to guess, it would most definitely be in the hundreds of millions. When King Salman gets tired of all the extravagance of this palace, he's been known to relocate to the older and more understated one, which is the Al Awajah Palace. This palace is much less modern and exhibits traditional Saudi Arabian architecture. But similar to the Al Yamaha Palace, it is also adorned with complex carvings and black and white images of Riyadh. However, unlike the Al Yamaha Palace, there isn't an abundance of gold. But even then, being one of the oldest palaces in the world, the sophisticated palace sure is one of a kind. And third, the Urga Palace. The Urga Palace, however, serves as a reminder that King Salman has an ample supply of money to build as many replicas of Al Yamaha Palace's splendor as he wishes. It's also where the majority of the king's diplomatic visits are welcomed. In 2015, when King Salman was newly crowned, he hosted former US President Barack Obama in the palace. And yes, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. The tissue dispenser is indeed covered in gold. He loves gold so much that even something as boring as a tissue dispenser just has to be coated in gold. Platinum obviously doesn't seem to be his chemical element of choice, because he even went as far as coating all of his 6 jet planes in gold. You've heard that right. He has 6 jet planes at his disposal. King Salman's 6 jet planes. First is his official 747-400. Then comes his 2 Boeing 747-200s, a 777-300, a 787-8, and an Airbus A340-200 that serves him exclusively. The Royal Boeing 747-400 is a commercial jet that was built for the Saudi Arabian royalty. This aviation beast is one of the biggest passenger airplanes in the world and can host more than 600 passengers. For obvious security reasons, there isn't any video available online of its interior, but it's reported to have everything from multiple conference rooms, ginormous bathrooms, deluxe bedrooms, and even a throne room. A Boeing would typically cost you $100 million, but since he has 2 of those, and he's customized all 6 planes to be covered in gold, plus the golden interiors, then we can't even begin to fathom how much the total cost is. If you think we're done talking about gold when it comes to King Salman, then you'll be sadly mistaken. Now, let's take a look into his ridiculously crazy and lavish travel lifestyle. The trip to Washington, D.C. When the king visited Washington, D.C. in 2014 on a diplomatic mission, he reserved all 222 rooms at the opulent Four Seasons Hotel. Then, in typical royal manner, the king ordered a complete renovation of the hotel, ordering that everything that wasn't gold be changed to gold. That included the mirrors, tables, lamps, and even the hat racks. All of these things were flown directly from Saudi Arabia, dripped in gold. The king also ordered that all the carpets be changed to red, and even requested a carpet to be laid in the ground floor parking area, so that he wouldn't have to set foot on the ground. The trip to Russia. In 2017, King Salman made a number of diplomatic trips from Russia to Indonesia, Tokyo, Morocco, and several other countries. Each trip was a display of sheer extravagance, and as was to be expected, mind-blowing sums of money were spent. King Salman traveled with an entourage of 1,500 people, 1,764 pounds of food, his own furnishings, and carpets. But the biggest attraction was the golden escalator he used to exit the plane. A normal escalator would cost around $8,000 per foot. So imagine how much a golden escalator would amount to. However, because gold is not the appropriate metal to use for mechanical moving parts, it got stuck halfway down his descent, forcing him to descend the stairs like the rest of us. The king also booked out the Four Seasons Hotel and Ritz-Carlton, both of which were occupied by his entourage of more than 1,000. In order to accommodate his request, these high-class hotels had no other choice but to forcibly cancel reservations and temporarily evict those who resided there. All of these extravagances cost him roughly $3 million, not including room service. He also booked 200 cars, which ended up costing him over $100 million during his entire stay in Russia. The trip to Morocco. In Morocco, the king matched his expenditures, spending $100 million on an unnamed 74-acre estate, while the rest of the group stayed in one of the country's priciest hotels, booking a total of 800 rooms, basically booking out the entire hotel, yet again. The trip to Tokyo. While packing for his trip to Tokyo, King Salman became aware that he might have a luggage issue. As a result, the king rented a $14 million Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft from the Royal Netherlands Air Force. This military aircraft was built to carry tanks and other heavy cargo over long distances, but he converted it into carrying his two Mercedes-Benz S600s, which he used throughout his stay in Tokyo, as well as his other personal belongings. He also booked over 1,200 rooms in Tokyo's most prestigious hotels to accommodate his entourage and ordered an additional 500 limousines to transport everyone around. Later in France, he repeated the same lavish pattern. The trip to Indonesia. By the time the king arrived in Indonesia toward the end of that year, 506 tons of his personal goods had once again been delivered there using 7 huge transport planes, including the C-130 Hercules as well as the Boeing 747S. This time, though, King Salman traveled with 100 bodyguards, who could charge up to $3,500 per hour, as well as 25 princes, 10 ministers, and around 1,500 other people, whose accumulated net worth was the tens of billions of dollars. They all arrived before the king on 36 flights over the course of 3 weeks. One thing that'll surely blow your mind is that he reportedly demanded a custom-built toilet exclusively for him to use inside a mosque he once visited in this country. He had numerous high-rolling demands that it took 572 employees of the air freight to handle just his cargo. You might be wondering why King Salman needs to travel with so many people. This is because the Saudi princes who tag along with him also have their own servants as part of the entourage. They've been reported to replace some of the hotel staff with their own servants. But more importantly, the king has special requirements, and at least 150 of his 1,500 entourage are his personal professional chefs, who are responsible for preparing particular delicacies for him. I mean, if you could afford to do such a thing, why not, right? Inevitably, King Salman's love for anything gold, lavish, and convenient has not gone unnoticed by family members who have attempted to make a profit from the king. The most extreme example involved is Prince Abdulaziz bin Tahal, the king's nephew. He made an order to convert the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo, the biggest and most spacious plane in the world, into a luxury private plane. This project, which is predicted to cost over $485 million, was likely to break all previous records for the luxury private plane business. The plane was to build 5 deluxe suites that would be connected by expansive staircases and elevators. There are also plans for a steam room, a movie theater, a custom-made Turkish bath with a marble finish, and a parking area. Finally, they plan to build a mosque with built-in electrical carpets that automatically face Mecca. The ultimate goal was to make the passenger forget that they were in fact on a plane. And because King Salman is known for going above and beyond for his comfort, he would then resell this customized plane to the king at a much higher price. Unfortunately for the prince, the project was a dead end. And somewhere in France sits an abandoned Airbus A380 with a ripped interior. A gentle reminder for us, the general public, of the seemingly endless fortune of the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Tell us, which of King Salman's power moves made your jaw hit the ground or shake your head in total disbelief? Comment down below. And if you're interested and want to know more about the life of the wealthiest people in the world, stay tuned, as we have lots of other episodes coming your way. Thanks for watching.